Hello, my name is Aaron Freeman, and I will be conducting a curriculum review and analysis presentation for ED 605. I've learned a lot throughout this presentation, and hopefully will implement some of these strategies and research that I've learned throughout my career. First, I'm a graduate student at University of North Alabama. I started teaching elementary music in the year of 2013. I started at Lexington in Lauderdale County. And now I currently teach pre-K through 4th grade elementary music for Central and Rogers School. Part 1 is the preliminary reflection and analysis. And throughout this presentation, I'm going to pose some essential questions. And also we're going to look at student data that supports what I think about music and how important it is. Also, we're going to look at the national and state standards of music education in 4th grade. Essential questions. How can the value of curriculum upgrade in public schools? Does today's current music curriculum meet the 21st century learner? How can the music curriculum improve in the public schools? All right, here are some initial thoughts for curriculum in public schools. Increase the diversity in curriculum. The curriculum should reach all types of learners, kinesthetic, auditory, and visual, and also should reach learners from different ethnic backgrounds. Improve curriculum for supporting technology services. So, for an example, to have iPads, laptops, Chromebooks, hotspots for high-speed internet, because more kids are accessing lessons virtually now due to COVID-19. All right, we're going to move on to the music curriculum. My thoughts: improve music education in schools through supportive principals and school leadership. All right, in a minute, we're going to look at some test scores, SAT test scores of 2012 to show how music can help writing and math skills. Hire more music educators in the public school. Increase the amount of time a student receives for music, especially in the elementary level. Okay, let's look at the SAT score of 2012. It says students who participated in music scored an average of 31 points above average in reading, 23 points above average in math, and 31 points above average in writing. And this data shows that music does help with writing and math skills. Students scored high, above average, participating in music. Okay, we're going to look at the Alabama State Standards for Music with 4th grade. Number 1, improvise rhythmic, melodic, and harmonic ideas and explain connection to specific social and cultural purposes in context. Number 2, generate musical ideas within related tonalities and meters. The next part is plan and make. Demonstrate selected and organized musical ideas for an improvisation, arrangement, or composition to express intent and explain the connection to purpose and context. Number 4, use standard and or ionic notation and or recording technology to document personal rhythmic, melodic, and simple harmonic musical ideas. The next category, evaluate and refine. Evaluate, refine, and document revisions to personal music. Apply teacher-provided and collaboratively develop criteria and feedback to show improvement over time. All right, present. All right, number 6, present the final version of personally created music to others and explain expressive intent. All right, number 7, under select, demonstrate and explain how the selection of music to perform is influenced by personal interests, knowledge, context, and technical skill. Analyze. Number 8, demonstrate understanding of the formal structure and the rudimentary elements of music in music selected for performance. Number 9, read and perform with increased fluency using ionic and or standard notation. Number 10, explain how context informs a performance. Interpret. Number 11, demonstrate and explain how intent is conveyed through interpretive decisions and expressive qualities. Rehearse, evaluate, and refine. All right, number 12, apply teacher-provided and collaboratively developed criteria and feedback to evaluate accuracy and expressiveness of ensemble and personal performances. 13, rehearse to refine technical accuracy and expressive qualities and address performance challenges. Number 14, perform music alone or with others with expression and technical accuracy. Demonstrate performance decorum and audience etiquette appropriate for the context, venue, and genre. Select. Demonstrate and explain how selected music connects to and is influenced by specific interests, experiences, purpose, or context. Analyze. Demonstrate and explain how responses to music are informed by structures, the use of the elements of music into context. Interpret. Number 18. 18. Evaluate musical works and performances, applying established criteria and explain appropriateness to the context. Number 19. Demonstrate and explain how expressive qualities, including dynamics and tempo, are used in performers and personal interpretations to reflect expressive intent. Okay, now we're going to look at the new National Standards of Music Education in 2014. These seem more clear than the Alabama State Standards. A lot of music educators agree with me on this. So let's look at the new National Standards of 2014. Number 1, generate musical ideas for various purposes and contexts. Number 2, select and develop musical ideas for defined purpose and context. Number 3, evaluate and refine selected musical ideas to create musical work or works that meet appropriate criteria. Share creative musical work that conveys intent, demonstrates craftsmanship, and exhibits originality. Number 5, select varied musical works to present based on interest, knowledge, technical skill, and context. Number 6, analyze the structure and context of varied musical works and their implications for performance. Number 7, develop personal interpretations that consider creators' intent. All right, we're moving on here. Evaluate and refine personal and ensemble performances individually or in collaboration with others. Convey meaning through the presentation of artistic work. Choose music appropriate for a specific purpose or context. Support interpretations of musical works that reflect creators, performers' expressive intent. Support evaluations of musical works and performances based on analysis, interpretation, and established criteria. Synthesize and relate knowledge and personal experiences to make music. Relate musical ideas and works to varied contexts in daily life to deepen understanding. This is just an overview of what I teach for 4th grade music. In the month of August, I teach rhythm, and that's between August and September. September and October, I teach singing. October and November, melody. November, December, duration. And then start the new year, January and February, notation. March and April, instruments and composers by April and May. Okay, here's the analysis of course curriculum, standards that receive the most attention. Number 7 and number 16, due to COVID-19, we are only limited to what we can do in the classroom, trying to keep everybody safe. So number 7 is demonstrate and explain how the selection of music to perform is influenced by personal interest, knowledge, context, and technical skill. Number 16, demonstrate and explain how selected music connects to and is influenced by specific interests, experiences, purpose, or context. Number 8, demonstrate understanding of the formal structure and the rudimentary elements of music and music selected for performance. Number 9, read and perform with increased fluency using ionic and or standard notation. All right, especially number 9, this was stressed to music educators because we have to prepare our kids to read music later on when they enter into band or into choir. So having those fundamental concepts at the elementary level are essential. Okay, these are standards I believe that receive the less attention. Number 6, present the final version of personally created music to others and explain expressive intent. I believe students need to be creative. They have a lot going on, and I believe being creative involves higher order level thinking skills. If we think about the Bloom's taxonomy, creating is the highest level of learning. This is a standard that I think should be cut from the curriculum. Demonstrate performance decorum and audience adequacy appropriate for the context, venue, and genre. Don't get me wrong, this standard is important, but I think there's other fish, bigger fish to fry as far as education. So it's important, but I think there's other things we can concentrate on more as far as education. Pedagogical practice is emphasized in music. The Dalcroze method. This method teaches students concepts of rhythm, structure, and musical expression through movement and incorporates the basic elements of music. The Kodály method. This method is a way of developing musical skills and teaching musical concepts beginning in very young children. This method uses folk songs, Kerwin, hand signs, pictures, movable doughs, rhythm symbols, and syllables. The Orff method. This method is a developmental approach used in music education. It combines music, movement, drama, and speech into lessons that are similar to Child's World of Play. Gordon's music learning theory. This method is a model for music education based on Edwin Gordon's research on musical aptitude and achievement. The theory is an explanation of music learning based on audiation and students' individual musical differences. The theory takes into account the concepts of discrimination and inference learning in terms of tonal, rhythmic, and harmonic patterns. Technology in the music classroom. Students receive Chromebooks to access the virtual lessons online, and also kindergartners and students with special needs have iPads. They can also access those lessons online. Students have access to Quaver Music. That's our online curriculum that we're using both with students in person and virtual students. And the students also have access to Seesaw and Clever. Part 2, data and collection and research. And this is an article that I read regarding the new national standards for music and how they were implemented and created. Here's some information I gained from the reading. Several music educators collaborated and created the new National Core Music Standards over a 2-year period. So not just one educator created these standards. Some were considered, some were wiped out, some were used. So this happened within a 2-year period. No one person wrote the standards. The contribution of other educators were used, reused, revised, and filtered. Music educators are under significant pressure to measure and assess their students' achievement. This is used to assess student achievement in music classrooms. The Model Cornerstone Assessment, the MCA, is a model assessment with guidance for instruction in the classroom. This is how student achievement is measured. Proficiency is mediocre, accomplished is medium level, and advanced is the highest level. Here are the outcomes. The new standards are provided for more grade levels than the 1994 standards, thereby leaving fewer gaps to fill when writing local curriculum. All right, the next slide is a national assessment of educational progress in music. It's pretty much the same. In 2008, it was 150 points, and it went down 3 points in 2016. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over this because it's pretty much the same. And you can look here at the NAEP percentile scores, and you can see that it went down maybe 3 points. So We're moving on to interviews. I interviewed a music educator and asked these questions. How do you feel about the 2004 new National Standards of Music Education? And she says she actually liked how the national standards of music education are outlined better than the Alabama state standards. And I asked another question. How do you feel about the new Alabama state standards of music? And she said they're useful in planning lessons that are instructive, useful, and age appropriate. The next question I asked, if you could change any Alabama state or national standard, what would it be? She said, I would change the standards for reading music at some of the younger grade levels. And this is what I stated earlier about emphasis in music reading with band and choir. So I'm kind of in agreement with that. We just don't have enough time to teach music reading like we need to. We only have 30 minutes a week, so that kind of puts pressure on us. We have other concepts that we have to cover. Don't get me wrong, we do cover reading notation, but I just wish we had more time. Okay, moving on. How can teachers in music help support diversity in the classroom? She said teachers could help support diversity in the classroom by incorporating appropriate music from diverse cultures and discussing the countries and or origins of the song. Okay, I conducted an interview with the parent, asking how does she feel about her child's educational experience in music. And she stated that her child states to me that she really enjoys coming to music. She wished there was more time offered in music, and she would love for her child to learn how to play the guitar. You know, we can only do a limited amount of things and limited resources, and especially due to COVID-19. So I asked her if she could add something to the music curriculum. What would it be? She said, you know, just students being more creative, just like what I stated earlier, creativity. That's what we're lacking. Part 3, synthesis. Overall, the standards in music education are clear to every educator. Ways I think the curriculum could be upgraded. Make advanced technology a constant in courses offered. I also think create more PLTs for schools, develop new innovative teaching strategies that can help and reach all different types of learners. What other changes would I recommend? I would create a more diverse atmosphere for our students and allow more time for music and arts education in the curriculum. Also, to create more assessments for music. In conclusion, how can I help learners effectively collaborate with each other and create a more diversified classroom? And this will change. I'm sure it'll change throughout this course, but I'm just brainstorming some ideas, maybe to create strategies that will promote effective learning and expose students to more appropriate, diverse music of different cultures. That's my presentation. Now, thank you for your time.